When you love someone with your whole heart, you never imagine the day they'll turn your world into ashes. My name is Lena, and 2 years ago, I thought I had it all. A loving fiancé, a small apartment filled with laughter, and dreams that stretched far beyond our cracked ceiling. But dreams, as I learned, can shatter quietly, before you even notice the first fracture. It started one ordinary evening. I came home from work to find the apartment half empty. Our photos, his clothes, the books we bought together, all gone. Only a note on the table. "I'm sorry, Lena. You deserve better. Don't try to find me." At first, I thought he was in some kind of trouble. But the truth? He had taken everything, including the savings from our joint account, and vanished. For months, I drowned in silence. Bills piled up, my landlord knocked. My body showed up to work, but my soul, it stayed behind, somewhere between heartbreak and disbelief. Then one day, out of nowhere, a thick ivory envelope arrived. The sender's name froze my breath, Ethan, my ex. Inside was a wedding invitation. Gold letters, fancy cursive. Ethan and Claire, a celebration of love. Claire, the same woman who used to be our neighbor, the one who always borrowed sugar and smiled too sweetly when Ethan was home. My hands trembled, my heart burned. I almost tore it apart until my mother saw it. She looked at the card, then at me, and with that mysterious half-smile of hers, she said, "Go. There will be a show." I stared at her, shocked. "Mom, what do you mean? You want me to go to his wedding?" She sipped her tea slowly, eyes glittering like she knew something I didn't. "Sometimes," she said, "the best revenge isn't anger. It's grace, served cold at the perfect moment." That night I couldn't sleep. Her words echoed in my mind. I didn't know what kind of show she meant, but deep down, I decided I would go. And if there was going to be a show, then I would be ready to take center stage. The day of the wedding arrived faster than I wanted. I stood before my mirror, staring at the reflection of the woman who'd been broken, but not destroyed. I chose a deep emerald dress, elegant, modest, but commanding. Not revenge, not desperation, just quiet power. When my mom saw me, she smiled knowingly. "Perfect," she whispered. "Now remember, don't start the fire. Just watch how it burns." The venue was a grand countryside estate, the kind of place that screamed luxury and pretension. Outside, sleek cars glided through the gravel driveway. Laughter, champagne. Inside, glittering chandeliers hung above people who believed in fairy tales. As I stepped through the archway, all eyes turned. I could feel the whispers. They recognized me, the ex, the abandoned fiancé, and then I saw him, Ethan. He looked exactly the same, sharp tuxedo, that same confident grin. But I noticed something else. His eyes flickered when he saw me, like a ghost had just walked in. He didn't expect me to come, that much was clear. His arm tightened around his bride, Claire, who looked radiant, wearing a diamond necklace I instantly recognized. It was mine, the one Ethan had said he'd pawned to pay the bills. For a second, my composure cracked, but I remembered my mom's voice. "Don't start the fire," so I smiled. A calm, steady, unshaken smile. As I approached the couple, the guests made room, curious, almost hungry for the tension. Ethan's mother, the woman who once called me family, looked horrified. "Lena, what are you doing here?" I held up the invitation and said softly, "I was invited." Her lips pressed tight, but she said nothing. I turned to Ethan. "Congratulations," I said, my voice steady as ice. "I hope you find everything you took from me worth it." Claire forced a laugh. "Oh, Lena, don't be dramatic. The past is the past, isn't it?" I looked straight into her eyes. "Funny thing about the past, it always shows up when you least expect it." Then I noticed him, a tall man near the bar, observing quietly. When our eyes met, he nodded slightly. He was familiar, too familiar. And that's when my mom's words echoed again. "Go. There will be a show." I didn't understand it before, but something told me that man was part of it. The air around us thickened. The laughter sounded forced now. Something was about to happen, and I had no idea that the real show was only beginning. The wedding reception was in full swing. Laughter filled the hall. But beneath the music and the sparkle of chandeliers, there was a tension thick enough to slice with a knife. Ethan avoided my gaze, pretending I wasn't there. Claire laughed a little too loud, like she was performing for the cameras. And me? I stood quietly near the corner, sipping water, watching everything unfold like a movie I'd already seen. Only this time, I knew how it ended. Then from across the room he moved closer. The man from the bar. He was tall, mid-30s, sharp suit, calm confidence, the kind that doesn't need to shout. When he reached me, he said softly, "You must be Lena." I blinked. "Do I know you?" He smiled faintly. "Not yet, but your mother does." My heart skipped. "My mother?" He nodded. "She told me everything. Ethan, the money. The betrayal. She thought you might need a little help tonight." I frowned, confused and curious. "Help with what?" He leaned in slightly, lowering his voice. "With the truth." He handed me a small flash drive. "Play this when the speeches begin. Your mother said it's time for everyone to see the real show." Before I could say another word, he turned and disappeared into the crowd. My pulse quickened. What was on that drive? And what did my mother know that I didn't? "Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the toasts. Let's hear from the groom and his lovely bride." Ethan and Claire stood at the center, champagne glasses raised. Their smiles looked perfect, polished, rehearsed, fake. As Ethan began to speak, my mind raced. I looked around. There, near the sound system, was the DJ, laptop connected to the big screen behind the stage. My fingers tightened around the flash drive. My mother's words echoed once again. "Don't start the fire, just watch how it burns." So I walked over, calm as ever, and slipped the flash drive to the DJ. "Play this after the groom's speech," I whispered. He nodded. Ethan's voice boomed through the speakers. "I just want to thank everyone here, especially Claire. The love of my life, my reason for everything." My jaw clenched. Everything. Yes, including the lies, the stolen money, the betrayal. He raised his glass, smiling. To love new beginnings and a future built on trust. Then the big screen flickered. At first, people thought it was part of the slideshow. But what came next froze the entire room. Video footage appeared, recorded phone calls, screenshots of messages, bank transfers. Ethan's voice, unmistakable, saying things like, "She'll never find out. It's easy money. Once she's out of the way, we're free." And then, video clips. Claire's voice. "She's too naive. By the time she realizes, we'll already have it all," gasps. Murmurs. Claire's face turned white. Ethan stumbled forward, shouting, "Turn it off!" "Who did this?" I just stood there, silent. The DJ pointed at me. Ethan's mother looked horrified. And then, from the entrance, came the soft sound of slow clapping. Everyone turned. It was my mother. She walked in, dressed in calm elegance, her face serene. "Good evening, everyone. I believe the bride and groom forgot to thank someone else tonight." Ethan's face drained of color. "Mrs. Carson, what are you doing here?" She smiled gently. "Just watching the show," like I said. The crowd fell silent. The perfect couple had just been stripped bare before everyone. And that was only the beginning. Silence hung heavy in the air. All eyes were on my mother as she walked across the room. Slow, deliberate, every step echoing with authority. Ethan and Claire stood frozen at the center, their perfect smiles long gone. The giant screen behind them kept flashing lines of proof, emails, receipts, recordings. My mother stopped in front of them and said softly, "You both thought you were clever. But you underestimated the woman who raised Lena." I stared at her, a mix of shock and pride rushing through me. "Mom, you did all this?" She turned to me, eyes glimmering with calm fire. "I told you, sweetheart, you don't fight filth with rage. You expose it to the light." The guests whispered among themselves. The air was electric. Claire's hands trembled as she grabbed Ethan's arm. "Do something," she hissed. Ethan glared at me, his mask completely shattered. "You think this proves anything? You hacked me. This is illegal." My mom laughed softly, the kind of laugh that cuts deeper than words. "Oh no, dear, it's all perfectly legal. You see, when you scammed my daughter, you didn't just take her money. You took funds from a joint investment account, one that's still in my name." The crowd erupted. Guests murmured. Cameras started recording. Phones flashed. Ethan's face turned red. Claire stepped back, shaking. "You set us up," Ethan shouted. My mother's eyes narrowed slightly. "No, Ethan, you set yourself up. I just made sure the truth came out at the right time, in front of the right people." Then she motioned toward the tall man from earlier, the stranger who'd given me the flash drive. He stepped forward confidently. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, "I'm Detective Cole Turner. For months, we've been investigating financial fraud related to a real estate scam, and Mr. Ethan Parker happens to be at the center of it." Ethan's expression twisted in disbelief. "That's ridiculous. You can't prove anything." Detective Turner raised an eyebrow. "Oh, we can. Thanks to your wedding slideshow." The room erupted in whispers again. Ethan looked around desperately, but there was no escape. Every guest, every friend, even his own mother looked disgusted. "You ruined me," he hissed at my mother. She simply replied, "No. You ruined yourself when you betrayed love for greed." I stood still, tears welling up, but not from pain, from relief. For the first time, I saw justice unfold in real time. Claire dropped her bouquet, her voice cracked. "Ethan, you told me it was all handled. You said no one would find out." He turned on her, shouting, "This is your fault! You wanted the money!" The crowd gasped again. Cameras flashed. The once beautiful wedding had turned into a storm of truth and humiliation. And right there, amid the chaos, my mother took my hand. "Let's go, Lena. Our work here is done." I looked back one last time. Ethan stood alone, trembling, surrounded by people he'd fooled. The detective was already making a call. Claire was crying into her ruined bouquet. As my mother and I walked out into the golden sunset, she whispered, "You see, sweetheart, revenge is temporary, but justice, that lasts forever." For the first time in years, I felt free. The pain, the betrayal, the tears, they all turned into something powerful. Closure. But little did I know, the story wasn't over yet. Because what waited for me the next day was something I never expected. The next morning, sunlight streamed gently through my bedroom window, soft, warm, and real. No nightmares, no tears, just peace. For the first time in years, I didn't wake up with that familiar ache in my chest. The past no longer haunted me. It had been buried, not by revenge, but by truth. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Detective Turner. "Ethan and Claire have been taken into custody. You and your mother will need to come by to finalize the statement. Also, your account funds are being restored." I sat there for a moment, just breathing. It was over. Later that afternoon, Mom and I sat on the porch sipping tea. The same porch where she'd first told me, "Go, there will be a show." I looked at her and said, half laughing, half serious, "Okay, Mom, I think you owe me an explanation. How did you even know all this?" She smiled, calm, wise, the way only mothers can. "Do you remember the day you told me he emptied your account?" I nodded slowly. "Well," she continued, "something about it didn't sit right with me. So I called an old friend, Cole Turner. He used to be your father's colleague. And when I gave him Ethan's full name, he found there was already an investigation linked to him." I froze. "You mean he'd done this before?" "More than once," she said softly. "He was using women, sweet, trusting women, taking their savings and disappearing. But when he tried it with you, I decided it was time he learned his lesson." I looked down, emotions flooding me. "Why didn't you tell me before, Mom?" She smiled sadly. "Because you needed to face him one last time. Not to hurt him, but to heal yourself. If I told you everything, you might not have gone. And I wanted you to see that you were never weak. You were just kind to the wrong person." Her words pierced straight to my heart. For years I'd carried guilt, wondering if I'd been foolish, naive, not enough. But in that moment I understood. My kindness wasn't my weakness. It was my strength. I smiled through tears. "You always knew what to do, didn't you?" She chuckled lightly. "I've lived long enough to know that some storms are meant to wash you clean, not destroy you." The sun began to set, painting the sky in gold and amber. I watched it, feeling a strange sense of rebirth. Then Mom added, "And remember, Lena, when people take from you, don't chase after them to get it back. Sometimes you need to let them keep the pieces they stole, because what's left in you is still enough to rebuild something stronger." I nodded slowly, her words sinking deep. That night, I opened my old journal, the one Ethan once mocked me for keeping, and wrote my first entry in months. I lost everything, but I found myself. And that is worth more than anything he could have taken. The show was over. The audience had gone home. But the lesson remained, loud, clear, and eternal. Sometimes life doesn't need revenge to make things right. It just needs courage, patience, and truth. Don't cry over what's gone. Be grateful for what it taught you. Because sometimes losing everything is how you finally win yourself back.